Hello, hello, hello. I am live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I'm Dia Bondi, and welcome to Speak Powerfully, our live stream show, which we are hosting every day, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, this week at noontime Pacific, to sort of celebrate this huge project we just completed, which is our brand new website at diabondi.com. Those moments where you're just on the other side of a huge creative lift. That's where we are at Dia Bondi Communications, and we're inviting you to take a look at the brand new diabondi.com site, where there is something there for just about everyone, whether you are looking to participate or bring a workshop around speaking powerfully to your organization, opportunity for you to listen to more content around helping you speak powerfully and ask for more and get it through our podcast, or looking for online courses around speaking with more impact as a tool for aligning people, teams, and cultures, and elevating your impact in your career and in your teams by taking our courses that we delivered in partnership with Creative Live. Now, today is day 2. We did one of these on Friday. Today is day 2, and I am sharing the next batch of the 21 things you can do to elevate your impact in front of any audience, big, small, boardrooms, big stages, fundraising moments. Whether if your voice matters at a particular moment in time, you might want to be considering, what are the things I can do to help have more impact at that most critical moment. So on last Friday, we talked about number 1, number 2, and number 3. And today I'm going to take you through 4 through 8. Now, this is the 21, which you can get at diabondi.com as a downloadable PDF that you can take with you and have next to you as you prepare for your upcoming critical communications moments. Now, picking up where we left off, number 4. Number 4 is, and where do these come from, by the way? The 21 come from the thousands and thousands and thousands of coaching conversations and sessions I have had in the 20 years I have been doing this work. And these literally came flowing out of my brain one day on a road trip with a friend. And I wrote down sort of as I dictated from behind the steering wheel. A friend of mine captured these just in a spiral notebook, and now they become really an anchor set of guides and strategies that you can use, and I still use in my coaching practice all the time. So thing 4 is to simply make it better. If you are prepping for a critical communications moment and you're wondering how to make it better, or how to have more impact, you're just simply going to make it better. Now, in the 21, you'll notice that make it better doesn't mean insert whatever adjective there. Doesn't mean fancier. It doesn't mean more complicated. It doesn't mean decorated. It just means better. You're going to look at your story and you're going to improve it fiercely. And the way to do that is to ask yourself, if there was one thing here I could do to make this better, meaning more impactful, what might it be? And to experiment with that. Should I start with a new metaphor? Do I take out the middle part? Do I smile when I say this bit? One little thing that can incrementally but meaningfully make it better. And literally, in my coaching experience, there have been moments where in a rehearsal point, I have literally turned to my client and just said, "Great job. Now make it better." Not offering an answer, but just the question, what is one thing you could do to make this better? And so often you actually have an answer. Now, thing number 5 that you can do, the 5th strategy you can use, and you might not be using all of these at one time, but the 5th strategy you can use to have more impact at the most critical communications moments that you might have on deck for you this quarter and this year is to literally be weird. And I'm not talking about being silly. I'm talking about being weird, meaning unexpected, and in a way that is unique to you, just enough that we know who you are. Now, when I say weird, what you perceive or what you experience as you being weird in front of the room may for us just be a moment where we're like, oh, there you are, you've just shown up. So if be weird for you gives you an experience of being a little bit outside of what's expected, that's not a bad thing. That is how we actually have more impact. So go ahead and be weird just enough so that we all know who you are. Thing number 6 is that information is good. And here's what we mean. When you get a mumble back from your audience or an eye roll or a blank stare, that is all great information. You don't have to judge it. You can instead be curious and find out what sparked or didn't spark that reaction that you may have gotten. And that way you can go back to thing 4, which is to make it better. How we think things will land isn't how they always will land. And so we don't have to take offense when they don't. We don't have to decide that the whole thing is broken, but we can get curious and find out what begged that reaction. Is that an outlier, or is that something that would invite me to go back and question and redesign the story that I'm telling and how I'm telling it? Now, when I think also about thing 6, this kind of information, based on the reactions that you get, if you're willing to let go of your idea of how something should be, even if it's not landing the way that you want it, you're going to be so much, you will be delighted at inviting the reactions, even if they're not the ones you expect, because it gives you the information you need to make the changes that matter to have the impact that you actually want to have in the world when you go to speak at really critical communications moments. So information about those things is really good. Now, thing number 7 is one that you hear all the time, which is get uncomfortable, which is to say, if being comfortable works for you, but it doesn't work for your audience, guess what you got to do? You have to actually stretch yourself into being uncomfortable. This is a little bit of a weird moment for a lot of us, because what can feel uncomfortable to us is actually the very thing that is necessary to have the impact we want, because we're not used to experiencing ourselves maybe in a way where we're maybe speaking more briefly and to the point, or more directly than we're used to, or with more enthusiasm than is how we talk at a common dinner table. So we have to be willing to step into a state or use strategies that bring our discomfort up, but also bring our impact up at the same time. So you can't always read that discomfort as a problem for everyone else. You have to find out, again, when you do something, when you tell a story that might feel a little bit too detailed, or you start with a metaphor that is a little unexpected, or you answer a question in a way that is so simple and direct it sort of feels curt, but actually has the impact you want, you get the information back from the room about what's working and what's not working. And it may be that the very thing that makes you uncomfortable is exactly the thing that has the impact that you're wanting to have in that moment. All right. Thing 8 is silence rocks people. This is to say, silence can create anticipation, and audiences like that. Particularly when you're in a large space, silence is a courageous and high impact strategy to creating the anticipation necessary to draw your audience in. So we don't have to rush ourselves all the time. And in all transparency, this is the most constant struggle that I have when I step in front of an audience, whether I'm delivering a keynote or giving a workshop, or even in a sales conversation, to take my time and let there be silence. On my best days, I can choose the moments where silence is a tool for impact, and let myself be intentionally uncomfortable with the silence that I'm creating because I know that it's creating space for others in the room. I know that it may be signaling to the room that I'm taking a beat to be thoughtful about how I might respond to one of their questions and not rushing. And in some cases, that beat where I'm being thoughtful elevates the importance of somebody else's question, even though I'm creating a little bit of tension in the air with the silence that I've decided to leverage at that moment. So these are, today I offered thing 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the 21 things you can do to have more impact in the room at the most critical communications moments. And you can get this if you're in the US, you can get the 21 things by texting the word impact to 66866, and you're going to get right into your inbox the 21 things. And if you hadn't known, we actually host a podcast at the Dia Bondi website and wherever you listen to podcasts, called the Dia Bondi Show. So you can find any of that at diabondi.com. It is live right now for the taking. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 12th at 12 o'clock Pacific, I'll be coming back live to talk about the next set of the 21 things you can do to elevate your impact in front of any audience anytime. And my invitation to you is, as you maybe go back and review the recordings, or you go ahead and get the 21 things at diabondi.com, that you are free to just pick one. You can just pick one to use as a tool for elevating your impact. You don't have to pick 5. You don't have to pick 12 of them. You don't have to do all of them at one time. Pick the one that feels most resonant and like it makes the most sense to you, and try it at an upcoming critical communications moment where the stakes, although it's important, the stakes aren't so high that if you get information back from how the impact of that strategy went for you, it's not a terrible threat to your overall plan and to your overall goals, but gives you a chance to experiment with the ones that really matter. Thanks so much for joining me and watching me on the rebroadcast, and I'll see you around next time.